Liverpool have just beaten Stoke City 5-0 in their behind closed door friendly today. They were 4-0 up at halftime and they looked absolutely electric. Frimpong in the second half making runs, putting in good crosses. He looked rapid and electric. Chiesa looked particularly bright. I can't lie, Chiesa, from what I saw, he looked very, very bright in that second half. But the first half, Florian Wirtz played. Szoboszlai played in this right back, but actually sort of right attacking midfield role. Liverpool coming with this new box midfield thing, something we saw Conor Bradley do in the Preston game. Curtis Jones, Trey Nyoni, Ngumoha, Salah, all looking good in that game. But Darwin Nunez, shaved head Darwin Nunez, hat-trick, goal and assist in the other game. He's looking very good. Of course, Liverpool's games have been against Stoke and Preston, so you cannot judge too much based off what you see from Stoke and Preston. And of course, I only have access to the 15 minutes extended highlights, not the full 90. So we can't see the whole game. But what we saw from Wirtz, what we saw from Liverpool was electric. It was very good. Liverpool looked very good. And pre-season is about the setup, the formation. How is Arne Slot setting up Liverpool? What is the energy levels like? And of course, do you get the results? But the most important thing pre-season is the setup, the changes, how the players are playing together, and the energy levels. And Liverpool smashed that. So in today's video, we're going to break down a few things that we learned from the game. I think I've got 8 points that I want to talk about that we learned from these 15 minutes of highlights on Liverpool. And I'm actually quite glad it was 15 minutes of highlights, even though it's harder to judge a game and do analysis on it, because I don't really want to watch 90 minutes of Liverpool playing Stoke. I try and be professional. I try and work as hard as I can, make sure I watch as many games as I can. But yeah, so let's break it down. So this was the starting 11 as on LFC TV, but I'm telling you this now, Szoboszlai was not a right back. He was not a right back. It kind of looked more like this. This is more how Liverpool lined up in game, and Szoboszlai and Wirtz worked very well together. Szoboszlai was getting almost quite out wide on the right and actually playing some good crosses in, which I think resulted in Darwin Nunez' second goal. But it looked like this. And from the off, I thought Curtis Jones looked really good. I thought Szoboszlai looked good. I thought Salah looked good. I thought the triangles on the right looked good. Darwin Nunez looked very good. Florian Wirtz, very elegant, very good on the ball. Nyoni, his passing range, just from the get-go, Rio Ngumoha looked very good. And I was just trying to look at this and think, so what is Liverpool's plan? What is Liverpool's plan for next season? Could we be seeing something like this? Could we be seeing something like this? And that was difficult because I was thinking Frimpong. Is Frimpong Salah back up now with Chiesa set to go? Frimpong, is he going to be in the Szoboszlai role? Is he going to be in the Salah backup role? Because there's no point putting Frimpong at right centre back. He's not that kind of guy. That was my only question. But this kind of seems to be the setup Slot was going with. I thought Slot would be going more of a back three with one of the centre midfielders dropping deep into the back three and allowing the fullbacks to act as wing backs. But Slot seems to be going for something like this with almost a box midfield, which was interesting to see. And I have to say, Conor Bradley and Frimpong both played together in the second half, and they both played very well. But maybe this is what Slot is looking at long term. The second half featured the likes of Gakpo, Frimpong, Chiesa, Endo, Gravenberch, Doak, Bradley, Kirkes, Kanate, Tsimikas were in the second half. But the first half was where the main talking points were on. And yeah, so let's break down the game. Let's break down 5 things we learned from the game from the 15 minutes highlights, I will say. So, of course, you can't fully judge the game. You can't fully judge Liverpool versus Stoke. It's a different level. But I think it's interesting to see how the new players do and indications of the energy level. Wow, very energetic Liverpool were. The fluidity, the attacking, relentless 3-0 up in 19 minutes. I mean, that's all you can ask for from pre-season: to win, to look full of energy, to see a new system that looks fluid. That's all Liverpool can ask for, and they got that. So, Darwin Nunez, I don't know if he's going to stay. I don't know if he's going to go. I think Darwin Nunez and Ekitike as 2 striking options is good. But the thing with Darwin Nunez is you paid a lot of money for him, so you want him to be your number 1 guy. And I don't know if he's ready to be the number 1 guy. He wasn't last season. But if Ekitike came in and Darwin Nunez became the number 2 guy, I think he's a very good backup option to have. I think he's better than people give him credit for online. But he just maybe wasn't as good as what Liverpool were looking for, if that makes sense. I thought Darwin Nunez has been very good in his preseason games. Of course, it's Preston and it's Stoke, but hat-trick, goal and assist in the other game. But his movement was good. He looked bright. He looked confident. I don't know what that haircut has done to him, but he was picking up the ball and he was dribbling it and he was carrying it, and he looked right and confident. I don't know if he's going to stay at Liverpool. I don't know if he's going to go. I think Liverpool want to get rid of him. But there's definitely a player in there. I don't know how he'll be next season. I feel like there's a player in there. There's a good player in there, but he's not reliable. There's a good player in there, but is he reliable? Is he what Liverpool want? But I think with Ekitike being young, it'd be probably good for Liverpool to have two options there, unless you do end up going for Isak, who apparently didn't play in Newcastle's game versus Celtic. Apparently, there's some drama there. So anyway, Liverpool were electric, 4-0 at half-time, 5-0 win versus Stoke. I don't think Marmadashvili had anything to do from what I saw. And look, there wasn't really many defensive tests, but I thought the shape looked fluid. I thought Slot's tactical ideas were on display. There was high pressing, there was quick ball movement, and it was encouraging signs from Liverpool, who unfortunately are my favourites to win the Premier League next season. I think they just won the league. Wirtz, Ekitike, Frimpong, Kirkes, they look so good. I also think with City and Chelsea being in the Club World Cup, like that will might make them more tired. I don't think Arsenal haven't even got Gyökeres over the line now. Madueke is not gonna, be game changer. Liverpool are winning the league next season. I hate to say it, but I think they are. Let's now talk about Florian Wirtz. Now, of course, this is a few clips of him playing versus Stoke. He looked good in today's game, but just because he looked good in today's game doesn't mean he's going to be absolutely amazing 10 out of 10 balling versus Premier League opposition. Of course not. But it was encouraging signs from Florian Wirtz. He looked very good. You can only judge what's in front of him. He's a very good player. I've seen him play for Bayer Leverkusen. He's a very good player. I'm confident it will be a very good signing for Liverpool. And based off what was in front of him, that's only what I can judge him. He did very well. He did very well. He was central to Liverpool's attacking rhythm. He was linking midfield, quick touches, quick movement, intelligent movement, a lot of good off the ball runs as well. He was eager to get forward. He was really pushing up in that box midfield. I honestly think that what you saw from Florian Wirtz was a player that looked comfortable, a player that looked fluid, a player that looked bright. He was passing, he was looking really good. I think from what we saw of Wirtz, that was probably an 8 out of 10. It was a very good game. It was very solid. I think there's a good player in Florian Wirtz. I thought he was, good assist. Played a big part in the first goal with the dribble, with the run he made. Obviously preseason games, as I said, it's difficult to judge players based off preseason games because it's lower oppositions and it's preseason, this and that. But from preseason, it's about the energy levels, it's about the fluidity, how they look. And Florian Wirtz looked like a £100 million signing. He looked like a good player. He looked bright. He made a good run. He made some good dribbles. He made a smart layoff. He was bringing that bit of presence to the channel. He was bringing a bit of control. In the limited bits that we could see of him, he was looking dangerous. He was connecting well. I think he was passing to Szoboszlai. I think he will work well with Salah. He was more on the left, but if you bring him to the right, I think he could work well with Salah. I think he could have a really dangerous connections with a gap post, Salah, Szoboszlai. I thought him and Szoboszlai, the way that they were both getting forward together, and there was a few little interchanges there. If you watch it back, it looked good. I thought that his movement was good. I thought his little layoff passes was good. I think he was technically good. And I thought Florian Wirtz looked very, very bright for a debut. Frimpong was honestly, for me, the standout. Again, is 15 minutes highlights. You don't see every minute of every second of every game. But I tell you what, Frimpong, was it 2 or 3 assists he could have had there? Running, getting up and down the channel, rapid, fast. Frimpong looked very good. He was getting in attacking areas. He was getting very high and wide, which is where he does his best work. Very threatening, good crosses in, good shot in. Played 2 or 3 good cutbacks it was. Nearly scored himself. Frimpong is rapid. We all know Frimpong is rapid. If you watched him at Leverkusen, you know he's rapid, you know he's a good crosser, you know he likes to go out and wide, you know he likes to take people on 1v1. When it comes to duels 1v1, getting back, got really good recovery pace. And him and Conor Bradley played together. I was intrigued to see how that worked, but it worked really well. They did a good combination near the end there. And I felt that, as soon as there was space, Frimpong was carrying up, he was exploiting space. And you could see Frimpong's ball carrying skills. I thought he looked very good. And honestly, Frimpong and Bradley could potentially play together with whatever Arne Slot might be cooking here. Szoboszlai. So Szoboszlai was deployed in a sort of right back, right attacking midfield role. He wasn't ever really at right back. He was so honestly at times I thought he was a false 9, but slightly on the right with his positioning. Again, I think he was tasked with progressing play, interchanging with the midfield, but also probably pressing. It was very high pressing, movement, runs. I think he did that well. It was similar to how Slot had used Conor Bradley versus Preston. He was looked inside in possession. He was sort of on the right, and he made it. I think it was Darwin Nunez' second goal. He obviously set up, but then he was coming in more centrally, and he was creating chances. And I thought that was a lovely assist for the Nunez goal. Trey Nyoni did well to find him out wide with the pass, but he was making runs, and he looked very energetic. And I think one thing that Szoboszlai brings so well is energy. I think that's one of the reasons he's so important for Liverpool, because it's like I think Liverpool would miss Szoboszlai. I think in those big games, if you look at Liverpool's games against the big six clubs, Szoboszlai was so key in those games. And I think Slot will want to find a way for Wirtz and Szoboszlai to play together, particularly in the big games where his energy will be needed. But he, in my opinion, I thought Szoboszlai looked really bright. Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez is having the pre-season of dreams, isn't he? A hat-trick within 20 minutes. Obviously, when you play for a side as good as Liverpool, who are playing against Stoke, if you're the striker and you're in the right position at the right time, you're going to score goals with how good and relentless Liverpool were. But his movement was good. His finishing was good. He was sharp. I do think Darwin Nunez is a good player, but he's so reliant on confidence. And when it's behind closed doors and you're playing Stoke and it's a easier game and there's not really any reason to be nervous, it's almost like you see the Darwin Nunez, but I feel like he gets nervous for the Liverpool and overthinks it sometimes, and he can't always do that in the big games. But he's got 4 goals and assists this pre-season. He's doing really well. Did he get 5 versus Preston? Did he score versus Preston? Liverpool versus Preston. Did he score 2 goals or 1 goal versus Preston? I know he got an assist. Someone's telling me he scored 2. No, he scored 1 goal versus Preston. He was Gakpo and Bradley. But yeah, he's looking good. So other people I want to talk about is Rio Ngumoha. 18, got his goal in pre-season today. Again, good goal. I mean, obviously he got lucky with the deflection, but I think that's his first goal for Liverpool. Again, ball sticking to his feet. He's dribbling well. He looks bright when he dribbles. You know, Wirtz made a clever pass, got a good goal there. Again, lucky with the deflection, but good goal. But what I like about Rio Ngumoha, from what I can see of him, is bravery. When he gets the ball, he's happy to take people on and run at people. He has the trickery, he has the skills. The ball sticks to his feet. Oh, I think there's a good talent there. But do you know the Liverpool player that really always impresses me when I see him play? And I said this last preseason is Nyoni. Progressive passing, very good. Mixture of short passing, long passes we saw today. Obviously, his pass to Szoboszlai, quick first pass, diagonal to Szoboszlai, set up the Darwin Nunez goal. But he has that technical control. He's a good ball progressor. And I think that he's a player that Arne Slot will really like. I think because Liverpool's so good and so complete and they're playing at such high stakes next season, it's going to be really difficult for young players to get minutes and break in under Slot because of every game is a must win, every game is a tight race game. But I do think with Trey Nyoni, like he's a player that I think when I look at what Arne Slot wants of a midfielder, when I look at his technical qualities, when I look at what he could be, I honestly think he could potentially get opportunities under Slot next season, more so than Ngumoha. As good as they both look, I think it's hard for the young players to get opportunities at Liverpool next season. But I look at Nyoni. I look at Nyoni as a technical player, as his attributes and what Slot wants in the midfielder is ability to progress the ball, play the passes, first time passes. I think physically he's built up since last season. I think he looks good. But one player I want to give a shout out to is Chiesa. I feel for Chiesa. He looked bright. I think every time I see Chiesa for Liverpool, and he looks bright. I feel like Liverpool is selling him. He's not going on the tour. Cool. Maybe Frimpong's going to come in and play that backup right wing role to Salah potentially. But Chiesa was like one of the brightest players on the pitch. Chiesa was honestly one of the brightest players on the pitch. He was making dangerous runs. He got shots off. Chiesa was so dangerous. Every time he got the ball, it felt like something was going to happen. I would happily take Chiesa at Man United, not the Liverpool itself. So I would happily take him. I like him. And he's up for sale, and he was combining well with Ben Doak, and I actually thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. But look, it's not when you've got to compete with Salah, it's not going to be easy. When you've got to compete with Salah, no one wants to do that. So I sort of get it, but I do think there's more to come from Chiesa, and I feel like he could have had more opportunities, but I don't think Slot ever wanted him, and that's fair. Slot won the league, he can do what he wants. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.